this week, and they're allowing the fewest points to fantasy quarterbacks on the season. Outside of weeks 2 and 3, where he posted back-to-back quarterback 1 performances, he has finished no better than QB 8 in a game this season. So has Lamar lost his luster for you? Swipe right if you still believe in his ability to get the job done as your QB 1. Did you like that double rhyme there? That was fire. That was fire. I didn't even plan that.
Can he still get it done as QB1?
Yeah.
This is so tough. So I have Lamar ranked at 7 this week. And I'm sitting here like thinking there's no way he's even going to finish that high going against Denver's defense as good as they've been. I don't know. I do know what it is. It's the rest of the offense. It's not my lack of faith in Lamar. It's my lack of faith in Greg Roman. It's my lack of faith in the weapons they've surrounded Lamar with. I think that you will see a slight upgrade, when they add J.K. Dobbins back, but not enough to really open things up for that offense because that's not a thing for that offense. Outside of Mark Andrews, I don't trust anybody in that offense right now, and that includes Lamar Jackson.
I don't think Mark Andrews looks himself either. I think the health is really getting to him. There was a couple balls last week when I was watching that game that they were just terrible drops. Like there was one in the end zone where he looked like he was a volleyball. He just
that was the pass that people said that George Pickens dropped last week.
That was ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
Good thing I was on Twitter this week. He was literally playing volleyball with that ball. I don't know what he was thinking. He just doesn't look the same. And I've actually been out on Lamar for the past 4 weeks because I've been starting Justin Fields the last 3 weeks besides his injured week. So if I'm not starting him on rosters that I have him, I'm not obviously in him going forward. And they're not converting in the red zone. That's the other thing for me. And when they do, they've been handing the ball off to Gus Edwards, and he's just getting the score. So if he's not getting the ball in the end zone with his arm or his leg, it's hard to start the guy. He has 4 touchdowns in the last five games that he's played.
Yeah, Andrews hasn't scored a touchdown since October 16th.
Yeah.
All right. So as I had previously mentioned, Lamar Jackson is the greatest football player in the history of the league. $50 million a year, easily. And I think this last couple weeks he's going to prove it. I think he is going to have a tough go of it against Denver. People are going to be all sad about it and be like, oh, man, Zach and Drew were right, as always. But he finishes the season Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. I think those are some really good matchups that he can exploit. I mean, we know historically that Pittsburgh usually does pretty well against Lamar, so you could take that with a grain of salt, but I don't think that the defense is getting the level of pressure that we're accustomed to seeing from the Steelers. I think that he still maintains that QB1 status, and something that gave me a lot of optimism from the game last week and really just throughout the season is that Lamar is getting the rush attempts. Like he's averaging close to 10 attempts per game, if not a little bit more. The TDs obviously haven't been there. The injuries to the wide receivers obviously a problem. But I think at the end of the day, you have that good floor from the rushing attack. Even when he's been a low end QB1, but at the same time, he only has really 1 or 2 dud weeks. So that consistency is something that I want. And I don't think that I'm going to go we were talking about Mike White earlier. I'm not going to go on bench Lamar for Mike White or something crazy like that. If I have somebody that has a really good matchup this week, then maybe I would consider it, especially against Denver. But I think he knows that he's going to have to get the job done. I think Greg Roman is kind of on the hot seat. Also, something interesting, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but apparently Greg Roman may take the opening at Stanford. Yep. So if he takes that, then that could be a big change to the offense as well. So that could kind of open things up for Lamar too. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I
think it's just the talent, though. I think the Steelers can take the Ravens pass catchers right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's only thrown for 250 or more yards twice this season. Last week against Jacksonville and then week 2 versus Miami. So they just have nobody to really throw it to, especially with Mark Andrews being banged up. So I think for them to be successful, which they need to because are they still top of the division, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game up with the Bengals now.
So it's I feel like you have to let him run if you're going to get that to happen because it's not going to happen through the air. So